In today's tabletop review, I'm going to be taking a look at a iPhone charging cable made by a company called MagBolt. Their website is www.magbolt.com. They are also running a Kickstarter program for this charging cable. I will put the link to that in the description of this video. So this would appear to be a prototype or an advanced prototype of their finished product. So by the time you actually get a chance to purchase this, there may be some slight changes or modifications done to it. So just keep that in mind, that as I look at this, this is, an advanced prototype. It's advertised by MagBolt as a 2-in-1 charging cable, a magnetic charging cable that is compatible with iPhone and Android. Now, I have, for the purpose of this review, I have a iPhone 6s that I'm going to be using for testing. And I have been using this cable for a few days and putting it through its paces. I have used it for charging. I've connected it to my computer. I've used it to sync with iTunes. I haven't run into any issues whatsoever. So I'm not going to demonstrate that in my limited display area, but I will demonstrate how it works and give you my initial final thoughts on that. So what do you get with this when you buy it, or when you will be able to buy it? Mine came with this envelope, and this envelope had some notes in it. And the notes basically talked about installation and a couple little cards such as this that basically talks about how to use it with Android and Apple. Now there's some FAQs on the back here that talks about pop-ups when you plug in the adapter, something to the extent of this device isn't certified, and so on and so on. I didn't run into any of those, so I don't know if maybe these particular issues are something unique, maybe the iPhone 7, but with my 6s I didn't run into any of these. I didn't run into any issues on the computer as well, and so also on that note, I'm using a Windows 10 computer, not an Apple computer. But there's a little bit of information here. Going back to the other side of this basically talks about the orientation of how to plug in the cable for an Apple or an Android device. The magnetic connector is a 2-in-1 connector, so you flip it over one way for Android, you flip it over the other for Apple. So that's a pretty innovative design. You can buy one cable and use it on Android and Apple. So great idea right there. This is what shipped, or what I received here, is the cable and this little blue tab piece. Now this little blue piece here, I believe these are called spudgers per se. These are like little pry tools for like opening a cell phone case or some other types of plastic cases that are snapped together, so you don't, you wouldn't want to stick a metal screwdriver in something like that because you would deform the plastic. So that's where these kind of come into play. This is included so you can easily remove the connector. This piece right here. This particular cable has got what appears to be a very flexible outer shielding. It almost looks like a metal sheathing, very flexible. I've seen this used before on headsets, on some other products, and I do like these. One thing nice about these is they have a tendency not to get tangled up. They're a little bit heavier than the thin cables, especially when they're used on headphones. They don't cause some of the issues that the lighter cabling does. So it's nice to see that this charging cable uses a higher quality cable. The ends also have a built-in stress relief, so the end of the cable doesn't just go straight into an end right there, and you know, with back and forth movement it doesn't get chafed or break. So there is some cable relief right there. It also comes with a small little piece of Velcro to manage your excess, and it's you know, these are the types of details I like to see here. You can see this isn't just a regular, just plain old piece of Velcro. You go to take it off and you end up losing it. It's actually got a little smaller cut piece on it that's wrapped around the cable. So even if you unravel this, it stays with the cable so you don't lose it. You don't see that from a lot of manufacturers. You don't see that type of attention to detail. So it's definitely appreciated that they went the extra mile to add a piece of captured Velcro that you're not going to lose. So what makes this particular cable special or possibly better than other cables on the market? Well, the 2-in-1 feature, as well as it's a magnetic connector. So you can see there's a very, very strong magnet that holds this connector in, and it just snaps right in there, and it takes a bit of force to pull that out. So it's a very strong magnet. The other good thing about this is you can't connect the little connector piece backwards. You can see I'm trying to do that, and the opposing magnetic force just pushes it away. So you can't connect it backwards. So that's really nice. It's gold plated. I'm not sure we can get too close on that. You can see that particular end right there would be the end that goes up when you plug it into an iPhone, at least with my iPhone. And that particular end would face up if you were plugging it into an Android. That right there is a glowing LED. I'll show you that. When using this with the iPhone, the little glowing LED faces down. You know, if you had an Android, it would be facing up, but since I have an iPhone, that's facing down. I don't know why it's like that. Ideally, I would like to see that. I know a lot of cables nowadays to let you know that they're plugged in and they've got power. They have a little LED on them, but if it's facing down, you can't really tell. My iPhone 6S right here, I do have a case on this, so I'm going to be testing this with a case. You can see that this isn't really a hardcore heavy-duty case, but this is the only one I have. It's kind of got a pretty good cutaway down here. And the cable just, you can either plug it in like that, or you can just take the little connector and plug it in. So you can see when it's plugged in, it's got a fairly low profile. Now, I don't have any interference with this particular case right here that I'm using, but unfortunately I don't have any other cases to test this with. But you know, it definitely works just fine. And you can see when I go to connect that, I mean, it just goes right in there. So it's pretty solid. And frankly, I did some other tests offline, but let's see if I keep that in view. I'm actually dangling my phone and I'm shaking it. So you can see how powerful this particular magnet is. So it's, for the most part, going to stay in place. And the length of the cable, which I didn't measure, well, let's see if I can measure this real quick. So give me just a second. I don't have a lot of technical specs on this, and the length of the cable was not something specified in the instructions. So I will just measure this real quick. Excuse my tape measure. Looks to be a little over 3 feet, maybe 3.5 feet, give or take. That's an approximation based on my tape measure here. So that's a fairly decent length for a USB cable. So if you're connecting this to your computer for use with iTunes, you definitely would have, you should have enough space or enough length to plug this in and be able to access your phone or put it in a safe place while it's connected to your computer. My computer has front mounted USB jacks. I had plenty of length to plug this in and then set the phone either on top of the computer or up on my desk where I normally work from. So I didn't have any problems with the length of the cable. A lot of cables you buy nowadays are real short. This one definitely gives you that extra length, which is good. They don't include an actual charger with this particular product, so you basically just get what I showed you here on the screen. So you can use your existing Apple iPhone charger, and I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. And you can see as soon as I plugged it in, my phone recognized it and came out of sleep mode. And you can see, hopefully you can see on the back, you can see the green LED glowing. If I unplug it, you see the LED goes out. So the LED is nice. I would just rather see, I'd rather have the LED on the front of the phone. And I realize if you have an Android and you're using this, when you're using it with the Android, the LED would be on the front. But for us Apple people, we don't get to see the LED. So that's the only thing I noticed that I didn't particularly care for. Ideas, well, I'm not sure if it's feasible, but this one is, this LED is green. You know, it would be great if there was an LED on both sides, but you know, maybe that's just not doable. But with this particular charger, the piece that goes in your phone fits perfectly. I mean, it comes out. I don't even really need to use the tool to get it out. The tool might be best used in situations where you have a larger case. The quality is there. I'm seeing a really high-end product. The connector is gold-plated. I tested charging on the computer. I tested charging plugged into the wall. I did iTunes. I uploaded and downloaded. No issues. It's listed as being dustproof and waterproof. And it's also was listed as for the iPhone 7. Obviously, you can see I'm using an iPhone 6, so it is backwards compatible with the iPhone 6. Any phones using the Lightning connector should work just fine with this. So, in summation, I think this is going to be a great item on the market. I think that the big question is what will this end up selling for? You know, what can you walk into a store and buy this at? For a good quality cable that gives you some flexibility to use. Okay, I apologize about that. Battery ran out on the camera. Hate it when that happens. Like I was saying, I think this gives you some really nice flexibility if you're a family or you own Android and iPhone devices. You get a 2-in-1 charging cable. You get the slick magnetic connector, which is pretty cool. You get a solid, well-built cable from what I can see and what my testing has shown at this point. I'm looking forward to seeing this and seeing it when it comes out on the market. Again, you know, go to the MagBolt's website and take a look at it. Stay tuned for their Kickstarter program. My understanding was the Kickstarter program was supposed to start this month. I was just on their website again today, and I did not see any mention of the Kickstarter program or a link to it or anything, so I couldn't go and participate in that. Well, thanks for watching, and hopefully you go out and take a visit to their website and get involved with their Kickstarter program.